So here we go with the cabin bed build, and as always I put the sheet material in my workshop and cut it roughly to size in there. Then when I got to site, I got the panels out, started putting them in position, kind of seeing where they need to sit, and that's the headboard, the head panel, or the top end of the bed. I've got the laser level out. I'm just leveling everything up, checking it out. Yeah, there's a bit of masking tape holding it up at the moment. This bit of timber here is going to stick out slightly, so when the top goes on there and the trundle bed, it will all be nice and flush. And that's the bottom of the bed. And along here we're going to have a rail, this rail right here. That's it, that's the rail. Going to go right along there, along with the laser level. That'll make the side of the bed. And we'll put some 3x2 CLS on there. And also we're going to have a bit going across the front here. Exactly the same, so that'll form the two sides of the bed. Right, just getting this first bit fixed to the wall. I battened it out, so I put some battens on the wall. It's a nice solid concrete wall, so those battens have gone in really nicely. So I packed it out with a 2x1 piece of timber, and that will also allow me to put that bit on the side there, which you can see sticking out on purpose. So we're just getting a few screws into the top end of the bed, get this in place. You'll also notice the big cutout to allow access to the plugs. And with that fixed, I was then able to get the side panel on there, which was fixed nice and firmly into a solid concrete wall. I've got the bottom on there. Initially it was temporary, but now it's all fixed because I've got the front on there as well. That was screwed in nice and tightly into some glued wooden blocks on the front there. It's going to take a bit of weight, but we've got a nice bit of timber going in there as well, so that's going to really strengthen it up. I've got one of the end panels in position, one of the end panels for the shelf unit. Put the angle on the top there using this 360 laser level, which makes this kind of job so much easier. You just know exactly where everything needs to sit. It's a tiny bit out at the top there, you can see. Tiny little bit of a gap along there, so I shall just adjust that later on and get that all nice and flush. But yeah, 360 laser level, you've got to get one of these for doing this kind of job. It makes it so much easier. Just getting the other panel on now. So once I've got this in place, I can measure the size of the shelves, and I can then start putting together the shelf unit itself. It's a little bit tricky because this house that I'm working in is quite old, as you can probably tell from the windows and the shape of the room and what have you. So everything isn't square. So I'm just kind of building the ends, and then I'll measure everything to fit inside that. And here's the shelf unit so far. I've got the back cut and the base shelf in. I've cut out the bottom of the side panel to put a little kickboard, a little plinth in there, and that's with it all made and all put together and in place. It looks quite stylish, I think. It looks quite good. Yeah, I just need to put a little plinth on there at the bottom, under the bottom shelf. But so far we've got the shelf unit done, all the beds made, and we're getting there. I've put a round on the top of the panel here, just so there's no kind of harsh, sharp edge. And I shall do that on the shelf unit that goes on the desk section. It's a kind of desk, it's on the bed at the end of the day. But really it will just be used for a shelf, I guess. So I've just battened that out, ready to put a shelf in there. So here is the shelf itself, and what I'm doing at the moment is just putting some blocks in. So I've made a little access hole in order for the customer to put a light or plug a light into the socket, which is actually going to be hidden, but by putting this little hatch in there, a little removable panel, they'll be able to get to the plug socket quite easily. So just by putting these two little blocks on here, the piece that I cut out, I can drop it back in without it falling out, as you can see. Just clean that glue up There we go, use a chisel for that, make sure you clean that off, JB. And here's the bit that I cut out. I put a little notch in it as well, that little finger notch, so the cable can run up through there, and you can also pull that out quite easily with your finger. Lovely. Right, so we've got that in place now. That has been fixed, and I've put a round on the front edge of that also, so that's nice and rounded. And we'll just put the little access panel in. No, we can't see in there, it's pitch black, don't be silly. So we'll put the little piece the right way up into the hole there. There we go, lovely. So you can put a lamp or something in there, and once that's all painted, that'll look really, really nice. Here I'm just putting some casters on the bottom of the trundle bed. And a trundle bed is basically a bed that sits under a bed. So this was something the customer specifically wanted for his daughter. So she's got a bed and then she's got another bed when she's got friends staying over, that kind of thing. So with the base cut to size and the casters on it, and here I've put the front on, and I did that by putting a nice chunky piece of 2x2 on the underside of the base of the trundle bed. So I've fixed it to that. So it really firms up the base of this bed. As you can just about see to the left of me, you can see some tongue and groove paneling, which I fitted around that kind of desk and shelf area. And after scribing it in and cutting out for the window, I'm just fitting the last piece, which is sitting above the side of the bed around the window. There we go, we give that a good old smack, make sure it fits. Yep, lovely, that'll do. We'll get a load of adhesive on there. Rather have too much than not enough, and we can just about get it out of the bed. There we go, we'll get that into position and we'll stick that back. It was a bit of a challenge scribing the top because, again, being an old property, not everything's straight and level and flush, so the ceiling was a little bit wonky. It's had to kind of shape this panel to suit the ceiling. There we go, give that a few more hits. I think that's all right now. Well done, JB, good job. Nice, so that's nearly all the construction done. We'll just have a look inside there, or a closer look at that tongue and groove paneling, and also the paneling that I did there around the desk area. Very nice. So I've started getting the slats in position and the 2x3 attached to the sides of the bed. I'm not going to fix these slats just yet because I need to get in there and paint it, and that'll be a bit awkward really. So yeah, I'm just getting those cut, and after I've got all those cut, I'm now putting some beading on the shelves. It's just a bit of half round beading. The customer didn't want just that kind of rough MDF right angled look, so I've just got some softwood, some pine half round edging to go on the front there, just securing that obviously with some glue, a couple of pins and a bit of masking tape. So this is how it looks with 2 coats of primer on. Now I've caulked everything, I've filled everything, I've sunk all the screw holes. It's all been rubbed down, it's all been primed twice. So we are nearly there. I've also got all the slats screwed down, so they're all in position. We'll bring the mattress in that's going on the trundle bed. There we go, just slide that on in there, JB. And now the build is complete. I will post some final painted finished pictures on Instagram, so look out for those a little bit later on. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.